The socket has to be comfortable. If the socket is comfortable and feels like a part of you, then whatever your terminal in is perfect. You can take full advantage of the new technology that's out. But if this does not work, nothing works.
Basically what we're doing today is we're going to take an impression of your arm just like we normally would for a plastic socket. But in this situation, we're going to actually change it to silicone.
They were excited to help me and get me into my best fit. And we actually changed my socket several times before we found the perfect fit. And so that was really nice to feel like they really cared about how I felt.
The interface between the patient's skin and the prosthesis is something that we can achieve in a lot of different ways. So we can do that through a hard piece of plastic, we can do that through a flexible piece of plastic, or now we can use what I would consider a superior material in the form of silicone. And silicone is very much like skin property. It's the closest thing we have to the actual human skin. And now we have the opportunity to apply that to a prosthesis. Why wouldn't we do that?
The reason we use it here in upper limb prosthetics is because it has characteristics to where we can cushion a socket for a patient. So we avoid neuromas or bony prominences, and the prosthetist will show me areas that they would like cushioned. We can do anything from fluorescent colors, we can do custom colors, and it also adds more range of motion for the patient, which is one of its amazing capabilities. It gives us the ability to provide a much more customized prosthesis for every patient.
And now we need this.
I think starting at such a young age with Kanoa, with the silicone, I think it's just more of him getting used to having something on his hand. Kanoa was about 2.5 years old, I believe, when he got his first prosthetic from here. It was the dinosaur hand. And he was really excited about it.
Open.
With the new one that we have, the activity, being that we can put the attachments, different attachments on, like we saw for the bike, and clamp, so he can hold on to almost anything. It's a big step up. He has sensitive skin. The silicone definitely helps there. We've never had an issue with his skin breaking out or anything like that.
The fabrication of a silicone socket is actually a pretty intense process that requires quite a bit of training and a refining of the process over time. And so we've learned through many years of doing this now how to create a silicone socket that is long-lasting, comfortable for the patient, that's durable, and ultimately makes a better product all around. We go through the normal processes of taking an impression of a patient's residual limb, making a model, then using that model to form the silicone around. Once we do that, we put it in an oven, cure it at certain times and certain temperatures, and once it's cured, clean that silicone interface and apply it to a frame, making the entire prosthesis. So instead of doing a zipper like that, now we just do a stretchy silicone.
That would be cool.
The vast majority of our patients have a traumatic limb loss. Burn patients, patients that have had electrical trauma, patients that have had severe skin grafting to save length of their arm. Their skin is compromised. Their skin is not normal. It doesn't have the same properties as a normal skin tissue would. Silicone provides that skin property back to the patient's skin that is compromised. Silicone gives us the opportunity to fit patients that we couldn't fit previously.
The silicone's worked out really well for me. When I'm teaching, I'll wear the prosthetic for 8 hours or more, and I never have any real breakdown on my skin. I did have some raised areas, and it seems to have reduced those. It does make the skin more pliable.
Once I got into the Rhodes silicone, it was the game changer, and the main reason was because it's very comfortable, very giving, a little more range of motion. I love the Rhodes silicone.